Hi, Greg here. Back again with another Lego MOC that I created. This is something that I created from set 31010, the Lego Creator Treehouse. As you know, I'm a huge fan of that set, and I knew that I had to build something else out of it. I couldn't stop with just a treehouse of my own. I decided to build a non-treehouse set, and this is what I'm calling the Lego Backyard Garden. And I'm going to take you on a little bit of a tour of this and show you what I made. As I'm sure you saw in the introduction, this build includes a small shed, a tree, a garden, and a stone walkway in front of the shed, along with the minifig that's featured in all of the treehouse builds. I had to include him in there. We'll look at the shed first, and the first thing I'll do is I'll move the minifig out of the way because I want to show you the cool feature about the shed, and that is my microscale lawnmower that I have inside. Move that out here. This is something that I built just using pieces from the treehouse set. It's a little rough. I had to use the wheels that were on the cart from one of the builds, and I used the same handle, and I just did my best to kind of make this into what I thought a microscale lawnmower would look like. It fits really well inside of the shed. You can see inside there's really not a whole lot going inside, so you put that in there, and that's about all that fits in there. But the outside of the shed, if you want to look at that, it has a window on each side with a little bit of brown accent, and the roof does as well. It's mainly red slopes, but I had to include the brown in there because I didn't quite have enough red to finish it off, which became a problem in my last MOC that I made as well. Got the bigger window in the back, and you can see the lawnmower parked inside there, which I think is kind of cool. And then coming around this side, it's kind of the same, but this window overlooks the garden. While we're on the garden, this is what we're growing out here. I'm not really sure what any of this stuff is, but I put a bunch of different varieties of colors in there to make that look really cool and give it some different uniqueness, I think. You got what I'm assuming to be tomatoes, and then you got, I don't know, red, greens, a little bit of everything. I think it looks kind of neat. I put a small little fence going around it to contain the garden, but I left the front open. So if you were mowing, I guess this would be the only spot you would have to mow of this entire area. I'm assuming this backyard includes a much bigger space than what we're seeing here. And then we'll move on to the tree. I'm really having fun building these trees. They really gave you a lot of pieces with obviously a treehouse set. There's a lot you can do with building trees. And I just did the same principle that I had before. I have the base kind of going up and creating like a trunk. And then I use the kind of arched pieces to come out in every direction. So you have one coming to the front, the side, a little bit higher up on the side, and then it even goes out over the back. So this has a little bit of a three-dimensional look to it, even though the back isn't really what you're going to be seeing much. I kind of like to create the whole thing. In terms of foliage, used a lot of the green and the dark green pieces along with some of the lighter green little circles that give it a little bit of texture and I think do a good job of creating what it looks like a tree. I mean, if you're looking at it really close, you're like, wow, that really doesn't look that good, but when you kind of come far away, I think it looks pretty awesome. I'm really happy with the way that turned out. And I like the structure of that tree. I think it's probably the best tree that's in this entire set, just the way I have it built here, because some of the ones that they originally came up with are kind of weak. I'm not really a huge fan of them, and I like the way this looks. I think it looks pretty cool. So then you're coming out to the garden. There's really not a whole lot of land for much of anything, but I did put this little stone walkway in here. Got a nice little design going in there, and I figured that's where you would pull the mower around, put that in. So it's more of like a patio than a sidewalk just because of how wide it is. And there's the minifig on there again. Put him back in his original spot. We'll put the mower back in. I think this turned into a nice little build. I wanted to do something different than a treehouse, and I thought, hey, why not just do like a little backyard garden? And I thought, well, we'll put a shed out there too, and I like the way that turned out. I like the map. It just has a lot of character, and the tree I think is pretty neat. So this is a neat little build, and I think it's a nice addition to the treehouse set. I think this would have been a really great set had they included this, and I would definitely have bought it and built it just as it is. So let me know what you think of it. I'm pretty happy with it, and I think this will probably be my last build from this. I got to move on. I got a couple new sets here over the weekend that I want to get onto here. So this will be it for set 31010 Treehouse. This is my second MOC from the set and my 5th build, so I definitely got my money's worth out of that. And I got all these extra pieces, so we'll add these all to the collection, and I'm sure they'll make something amazing in the future. Thanks for watching, and there will be more videos up here soon.